Hello, welcome back. Welcome if you're new. You might have seen my first video, my year review. We're doing basically the same thing, but for the week. So without further ado. So, how's this gonna work? I'm just gonna split this up into 3 segments. So we've got life and design and music. I think that about covers everything interesting I get up to. I'm going to be doing this every single week on a Wednesday. It's pretty informal, if you couldn't tell. Like this version is the barely edited one, where I just sort of sit and have a chat and recap everything I've been up to, anything interesting. If you can't be arsed watching this, fair enough. I've got shorter versions over on my socials, so on my Instagram and my TikTok, which are much more edited, much more refined and crafted versions of this. So let's get started properly. Let's go on to life. And yeah, start of the week, New Year's. So I had a pretty chill one. I went to my uncle and auntie. They always host a New Year's gathering. I've not been in years because I've been up in Aberdeen. This is the first year I've not been in Aberdeen for New Year's in a long time. So it was really nice to just get to see a lot of the family again. You know, I've seen most of them fairly recently, but there were some folk I've not seen in a while, and it's just nice to get together every now and then, catch up. You know, some of my little cousins are, last time I saw them when they were babies, and now they're starting school, and you know, they've got personalities. It's interesting. It's funny getting to see them. But anyway, New Year's, there's always a resolution. That's the big thing about New Year's. Your New Year's resolution. What are you going to change this year? So mine is pretty vague. It's basically to just make more things. Just keep on making. And that's obviously led to this channel, led to the video content. I've got a few wee series planned at some point or other. They'll come about. Already this week I've started one, so I'll speak about that a bit later. But my resolution is to keep on learning, trying new things, making new things, and by making this channel, by forcing myself to post it on Instagram and sticking to a routine, it kind of makes sure I do that. It makes sure I don't lose any motivation. I mean, if I want to keep doing one of these every week, I've got to have something interesting to bring you every week. What else did I get up to in my life this week? So in my yearly recap, I mentioned how the job hunt was really, really tough. So I've done God knows how many applications for jobs at this point. And I've only had like one offer for an interview. Before this week, I got another interview. I'm not really going to talk too much about it. They might be watching. But I think it went pretty well. They're a very cool company that I'd be keen to work with. So fingers crossed, pray for me, guys. So on to design. This week I've made all the assets for this series for my Instagram. All the music. Well, that's kind of music, isn't it? Oops. I've done all that. What else have I done this week? I've made a logo. I started working on a logo for a driver training in Linlithgow. So I'll show you a wee snippet here. They're called Driversity. They came to me asking to try and include the infinity emblem in it somehow. It is to do with autism, being on the spectrum, hence the name Driversity as well. That's a very key part to their brand, so they've asked me to try and include that. So here's a bit of the work that'll have popped up on the screen. What else have I done? I started Redesign the High Street. So if you follow me on my socials, actually I think I posted it as a short on YouTube as well, so you can go check that out after if you want. I started a new series called Redesign the High Street. So it is what it says. I give myself one day in the week to pick a shop front, any random shop front on Linlithgow High Street, and I've got to create a redesign for it. I need to make this clear. It's in the captions, but I need to make it clear. I am not being paid for any of these. It's not actual jobs. It's just a personal project, and it's not meant to mean any disrespect to any of the brands that I'm redesigning. You know, there's some that are actually quite brilliant, to be fair. Some really good branding on the high street. So it's not me going, your brand's bad, I need to redo it. It's just me putting my own spin on it and seeing how I would tackle it. Because, you know, you get a lot of, you know, there's a lot of people on Instagram especially that do like redesigning Google if it was in the 80s, or like all these big brands. So I thought, how can I make that, make my own spin on that? And I thought High Street is a pretty interesting one because, you know, there's some really niche brands here in Linlithgow especially. It's a really popular high street. There's lots of shops, so you get some really niche businesses, which is a bit of a challenge. You know, there's some that are like craft works. There's one that's called Linlithgow Stoves that I might get to, and that'll be a challenge. Like, how do you promote that? I started learning Figma this week as well, so I watched YouTube tutorials. They're pretty good, honestly, YouTube tutorials. So this guy, he has a little like beginner course on Figma, so I've been doing that. I'll show you some of the sort of examples. It's very, very basic, very, very basic, but it's a start, you know, because I never used Figma throughout my university course, but it's one of these things that a lot of jobs are looking for, so I figured I better learn it. So that's where we are with that. And now finally on to music. Well, I already said I did some of the backing tracks for my projects. I did the jingles as well. I'm not going to compile them, that's just a lot of time for nothing that interesting. You'll have heard a backing track over this already. I've started work on my new EP as well. I'm not going to go into too much detail about that at the minute, because it's, you know, I've not done all too much, but it is very much underway, and it's cool. I think it's really, really cool. Wavelength, my last EP, was more, I took a deeper dive into the more electronic side of production, and more pop sounding. This next EP is sort of an evolution of that. It's much more electronic, very electronic. In fact, I think there might only be one guitar track on the whole thing. So it's very different to some of my older stuff, but I think it's very, very cool. I'm excited to share a little bit more with you as the weeks go on. I think that about covers it, to be honest. I've not been up to much else this week. It's been very cold here, so I've been kept up in the house, not really doing all too much, to be honest, other than what I've just told you. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. I think we'll leave it there for today. Thank you if you've watched it till the end. Again, I don't know why it's not that interesting, is it? It's just a little personal thing. Anyway, see you next week. Have a good one. Bye bye.